Obviously, then you realise that planets or objects passing you, as you were a single planet, can cause you to spin in a certain direction. If you're forming a new galaxy or solar system, then that solar system has a rotation. It can spin counterclockwise or clockwise, depending on which way the vector forces are to the expanding and collapsing nearby planets and the gravity of slope tension of gravity. So you realise this. If you spin it counterclockwise, it's probably a water planet because of the nature of water. It's counterclockwise usually because of the electricity and because of the mass of water and the liquid nature. It just happens to be counterclockwise, going by our own galaxy. If you are clockwise, then it is actually a gas planet that expands, usually falls apart in the clockwise direction, like a nebula, with the exception of pulsars that can balance clockwise into an anti-clockwise flux of pulses, and obviously that's something in between. A third option, usually a anti-clockwise spin or a counterclockwise in the left direction is what we are, and we are a closing solar system galaxy. We're closing because of the counterclockwise direction. Everything attracts to itself, and there is a sun in the middle. Usually, why? The sun is a gas expanding to balance the falling counterclockwise with a gas expansion. And you see there's the spring that balances the weight, as opposed to the other clockwise direction, or the opposite, the gas expanding, and then solid masses of iron probably, with magnetic fields obviously as well. The magnetic fields may not be electricity. If it is clockwise, it may just be what we call light effects and lightning storms and things we see by the Hubble telescope in the lit part of the nearby galaxy or larger universe as it is. Usually that's why. If you thought of bicycles, you could think that the clockwise and anti-clockwise direction are like your forward wheels spinning. You can go forward, but you can't go in reverse when you've gone forward. The vectors of rotation can't stop rotating. Planets can't stop turning. They can't suddenly change direction of rotation. Everything will go backwards. Things will be upside down in massive disruptions. If you thought that riding a bicycle suddenly forwards and then going backwards, it's like riding upside down under the surface of the ground. Upside down, you realize that going left spin to right spin is that problem. That could be one of the reasons why there are explosions in the universe and destructions of galaxies with large influences of large masses of counter-rotational direction to our smaller solar systems. A lot has been learnt with telescopes, and in fact the idea of using lenses to bend light for telescopes to be able to see further or closer is really quite useful. If you think of the ocean as a curve of the coast, the ocean has water and air and sunlight of a lens of pressure of gases of the oxygen to actually make a lens in the atmosphere, and that can cause a bend of a lens. And if you thought that was at the coast, how somewhere in between the coast and the mountains, you could say your observance to the atmosphere, to the apex of the mountains, to the moon above it, is double lens telescope of two triangles. Is actually enough to say you can enlarge the object of the moon. It can appear quite large to you with such a throw of certain distances. Notice in our particular part of the world, you can actually see the moon 20 times its size on occasion, or 10 times, because it doesn't get any larger because of the lensing, like we explained here. So that's of your house, of the further half lens, that's of the holding point, of the pivots of the axis, of top of the mountains, see electric lights, the white light of the moon. Quite interesting, but difficult to photograph though.